watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
You know, that bamboo's so hard, but they just gnaw it like it's nothing.
Their teeth are literally
like gum.
like easy, no problem. Yeah.
That's amazing to watch them do that. Hey, 6 a.m. here on this Tuesday. Glad you're waking up with us. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. And now let's show you what's going on weather-wise. The harvest moon is out. It's harvest season.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Persian culture, we celebrate what's called Medagon. It's like a harvest time of year. So
There
it's
we go.
nice. Yeah. We get to enjoy all that.
That bright moon for the fall crops. Back in the day, the farmers needed that extra light.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey,
Right.
we got a lot of that light kind of sticking around with us for another hour and 20 minutes or so. We still are watching as the sun is going to be making its way up in the next half hour or so. So in the meantime, we get some of these beautiful views outside. Today's forecast takes us to the low 70s out by the coast, upper 70s as we make our way inland. It's a dry day, a partly cloudy day with an abundance of clouds in the morning that will break apart by the afternoon. Here's what we see as far as your current temperatures out the door. Mostly 50s across the valleys, 60s toward the coast, and there is that harvest moon, that full super moon as we start off the morning. Sunrise coming again about 46 minutes from now, but a gorgeous, gorgeous look that we have from Bunker Hill. I'll send things over to Vanessa Paz. She's checking in on traffic as we start off the morning.
Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday to you. 6:01 is the time as we go ahead and start things off. This is a live look on the 805 North as you make your way in from the South Bay. We're seeing a fair share of breaks happening as you make your way towards that 15 connector. Meanwhile, opposite end, this is more towards the water in downtown San Diego. This is what the 5 looks like in both directions. Look out for a crash on the 15 right at the 52 connector. We're also tracking another crash, this one in the East County on the 8 West at Tavern, and it looks like one of the cars involved rolled over. So that's active. It popped up on the CAT about an hour or so ago. As we quickly take a look at some of your speeds coming in from the South Bay, we're tapping the brakes pretty heavily. It is still early, but you can expect congestion, especially on the 805, right before you hit the 94 as you make your way through North Park into Mission Valley. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. The government shutdown has entered its 7th day. This morning, it's starting to impact air travel.
Travelers around the country are seeing flight delays as the Transportation Secretary acknowledges a jump in air traffic controllers calling out sick. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live at San Diego International with the message everyone needs to hear here. Regina.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, airport officials have been reassuring travelers during their next flight, but staffing issues, including sick calls, have been hitting other major airports and air traffic control centers. At this point, we do know that the government shutdown has forced federal employees to work without pay for a week now. Here at the San Diego International Airport, we've been monitoring travel. If any issues have been impacting travel so far, no immediate issues. But in other areas like the Hollywood Burbank Airport, there were no air traffic controllers for several hours on Monday. Officials say the Burbank Tower outright closed and pilots had to be redirected to other centers. Unfortunately, right now, a deal doesn't seem clear among congressional leaders. Republicans say they won't negotiate with Democrats until after the government reopens, but Democrats argue they want to address health care costs in the same funding bill that would end the shutdown. Now, the U.S. Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, he blames the government shutdown for the air traffic controller shortages that have caused recent flight delays.
This is having great impact, great concern, great stress. And I want to see your flight not be delayed. I don't want you canceled, but our priorities are safety.
In the meantime, airport officials here at the San Diego International Airport are advising travelers that if you have a domestic flight to arrive 2 hours before, and if you have an international flight to arrive at least 3 hours before. I'm Regina Yarita, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you. Starting today, voters across San Diego County can start dropping off their ballots for the upcoming special election in November.
Voters will weigh on Prop 50. That's the amendment to the state constitution related to redistricting. CBS 8's Chris Crow live in Kearney Mesa to tell us what's at stake, the details of this, Chris. And people are starting to see these in the mail, right?
Yeah, they should have gotten. In fact, this is mine. Got this in the mail just recently. And what you are to do, of course, is to go ahead, decide yes or no on Prop 50, and then bring it to a drop box. You can put it back in the mail, or you can take it here to the Registrar of Voters in Kearney Mesa to officially drop it off, all before, of course, November 4th, which is Election Day. Now, all ballots have to be received by November in order for them to be counted. Of course, this is going to be a race that is going to change a number of things. This is one that is going to go ahead and allow for the state to go ahead and draw up new districts if this is something that passes by with a yes vote that will go ahead and, of course, change things. Here's a political analyst that we spoke to about exactly how this will all shape up.
In response, Governor Newsom has said, we're not going to sit down and take this without a fight. We're going to do the same. So a yes vote would allow voters to give politicians the right to redraw district boundaries in Congress.
All right, so that's a much better explanation from what I was trying to get out there. Now, as for what we are seeing in terms of support for Prop 50, of course, Governor Gavin Newsom, as well as other Democrats hailing for the yes vote in retaliation in large part because of what Texas did when they redrew their districts to create more Republican seats ahead of the midterm elections without voters having a say. There are some big names on the no side, like former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. This would likely target about 5 districts here that are currently in Republican control to try to create Democratic control. We know that Darrell Issa's district, Congressional District 48, has been one that has been identified as potentially vulnerable. Now, as for the amount of money that this race is creating, about $222 million has been raised for Prop 50. Of that, at least $131 million in support of the measure. So those in support, that yes side, far out fundraising, of course, those on the no side. Remember, if you get that ballot, fill it out, and you do have a number of different ways to make sure that it's counted. Back to you guys in the studio.
Chris, thanks for that. Today, El Cajon's City Council will meet in closed session after being sued by the state of California. The city is accused of sharing license plate reader data with other states. State Attorney General Rob Bonta says that's illegal, and the information could end up being used for immigration enforcement. El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells says the state's lawsuit is entirely political and says police share the data to fight crime, not for immigration enforcement.
And now, as people are waking up this morning, I guess the moon is covered by clouds, huh?
Yeah, most of us are below this layer of clouds here. However, these clouds that we have closer to the coast and inland are pretty patchy. They're also not too low down to the ground, which means they shouldn't stick around for too long into the day. There is that full super moon. That is not the sun, believe it or not. This is the west-facing view. So that east-facing view is starting to light up a bit, and that's where we're going to start to see that sunrise closer to about 6:47. The moon will set closer to about 7:15. Rain chances are going to rise across San Diego County as we get into the end of the week. What we're seeing is tropical moisture arrive, the remnants of Hurricane Priscilla, currently a Category 2 storm, likely to send just scattered activity as it becomes post-tropical going into the end of the week. So we are not seeing a hurricane by any means make landfall in San Diego. Instead, what we're seeing is that current Category 2 storm is going to keep traveling up the coast, following just along the Baja Peninsula, and then it will curve and start to make landfall likely right over about Ensenada. Around that time, it will be already post-tropical. So you see how it decays into a Category 1 storm by the time we get to about Wednesday at 11 p.m. We're not expecting our moisture to arrive until we get into Thursday. Those are the outer bands. And then as we get into Saturday is when all of that will likely come to a halt. So when all of that moisture starts to kind of simmer down for San Diego. First initial burst of activity is going to come on Thursday. Temperatures are going to be in the low 80s across the valley floors. We'll keep climbing onto those afternoon highs by Friday. Friday likely to be our peak. Warmth, humidity, and a few showers. And then all of that will die down. Most of that rain and thunderstorm potential rests toward our local mountains. Coastline, inland valleys, still likely to see some, maybe a 2/10 of an inch. But I hesitate to give you numbers because we'll be able to kind of fine tune those numbers a bit more as we get to the later portion of the week. I want to send things over to Vanessa Paz. She's checking in on how things are looking to start off the morning commute here. Back to you.
Good morning, guys. It looks like we're so far so good. No major delays nor incidents that we're tracking. We have a few crashes going on, but it's not causing any major slowing by any means. This is what it looks like on the 5 in both directions, right at 6th Avenue. Pretty free-flowing through the downtown area. And this is the 15 in both directions. Right side of your screen is that drive as you make your way in from Poway, headed towards the Miramar-Mira Mesa area. Look out for a broke down semi, and this is on the 52 West, right at Mass. past may slow things down for you as you make your way in from Santee. We're also getting reports of a hit and run crash, and that's right where the 15 and the 52 connector meet. And then a lot more east, we're tracking a rollover crash, and that's on the 8 West right at Tavern. As we go ahead and zoom out and take a look at some of your speeds, we're seeing some light brake tapping. Looks like it's a very small stretch, about 34-mile-per-hour speeds in from National City, making your way towards North Park. And if you're traveling in from Chula Vista on the 5, headed through National City, you're averaging about 25 miles per hour or so. And it looks like we are so far so good coming towards the Coronado Island area from Barrio Logan. And here's what it looks like in from the North County. Travel times right now, mostly in the green. We're now crawling at about 12 minutes to get you in from the 54 up to the 8 freeway in about 5 minutes, a full span of the Coronado Bridge at last check. Meanwhile, if you're traveling westbound from the East County, anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And here's what it looks like all in the green coming in from the North County. All right, 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times and see what's happening outside. 2 hours right now to get you in from San Ysidro's port of entry. So it looks like those wait times are seeing quite a climb in the numbers, and about over an hour to get you in from Otay Mesa's port of entry.